Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into an extraordinary exhibition at the Auckland War Memorial Museum. Relics, A New World Rises. Imagine a future where Lego minifigures have taken over and built intricate civilisations within discarded vintage treasures. That's exactly what you'll find at the Relics Exhibition, created by Australian Lego masters Jackson Harvey and Alex Towler. From a grandfather clock turned into a time machine to a cryonics facility inside a vintage refrigerator, each piece tells a unique story of creativity and sustainability. It's a mesmerising blend of art and imagination that will captivate visitors of all ages. So join us as we explore the world within a world at the Relics Exhibition. Topia. Trash rules everything around me. Amongst a pile of humanity's waste, the colourful towers of Topia rise above an overstuffed dumpster. They stretch far above the garbage dump, attracting lost wanderers to the city, drawn to it by the idyllic and sustainable lifestyle. Many years ago, a small band of wandering minifigures sought refuge in an upended trash can. They fell in love with their new, stinky home and decided to stay. At first glance, this might have seemed like a strange place for these minifigures to inhabit, but it contained an abundance of raw materials that allowed this innovative community to thrive. Whispers of a utopia built upon foundations of trash spread throughout the land. More wanderers arrived, and the town's population grew. The city expanded into a nearby dumpster and became the thriving metropolis known today as Topia. Time Punk's Tower. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Within the precise mechanical workings of this grandfather clock, a villainous band of time punks is hoarding trinkets and treasures from across the ages. This monolithic timepiece has been reverse-engineered by these skeletal clockmakers to serve as a vessel for their time-travelling plunder. After several lifetimes traversing the ages, their physical forms have long decayed and are now sustained only by the radiant energy of the time machine. The whirring gears of the central oscillating entropic recalibrator click into action as the time machine fires up. The hands on the clock above spin backwards, and a portal to prehistoric world is ripped wide open. In the wake of centuries of pillage, blinded by their greed, the time punks have unwittingly left tears in the fabric of space-time. Through these rifts, a colourful cast of historic characters has emerged to reclaim their pilfered artefacts and wreak their own havoc on the time punk's machine. Albert Einstein, while impressed by the proof of his theoretical work with Nathan Rossen, has taken to battering the clock's cogs with a wrench in the hope of halting the diabolical time machine. The time punks and their machine have been out of control for too long. Can our band of heroes stop them? Only time will tell. Storytellers Nook. Turn the page on the day, walk away. This bookcase still stands in the ruins of a home library that was once the sanctuary of an eccentric book enthusiast. A studious delegation of minifigures has been assigned to preserve the contents. Eager to learn and share, they are driven by the constant pursuit of knowledge. Upon the dusty shelves are some of the world's last remaining books. Their brittle spines and frail pages represent the final fading collection of humanity's stories and knowledge. The bookcase's human owner was meticulously organised, rigidly categorising each shelf by subject, an order that has had an effect on the minifigures inhabiting its tiers. Over time, these shelf dwellers have embodied the books around them, and distinct shelf-based subcultures have emerged. Some of these subcultures are based on fantasy, entertaining their neighbours with fairy tales, legends and myths. Others celebrate technical knowledge, using what they learn to help their fellow minifigures. And some just want to express themselves with painting and sculpture. Despite their differences, the communities on each shelf happily intermingle and share their knowledge. Perhaps in deciphering the written ramblings of the humans, these minifigures may understand the reasons behind the decline of humanity on Earth, and in doing so, can avoid a similar path. Stud's Diner. Put another brick in the jukebox, baby. Let's set the record straight. If you're looking to take a plunge and find your groove, this weathered jukebox is the hippest antique in town. The minifigures of Stud's Diner have taken a dive into human musical history and resurfaced with a passionate reimagining of years gone by. Long before cassette tapes, compact discs, iPods and Spotify, jukeboxes such as this super deluxe 1945 Wurlitzer 850 would keep humans jiving and grooving all night long. In its day, no other phonograph could even approach the brilliance of its beauty or the sparkle of its tone. Where the vinyl used to spin, a pulsing light show illuminates the grand Peacock Ballroom, setting the stage for an electrifying performance. The music of yesteryear becomes fuel for these minifigures, keeping the crowd dancing the night away. Down on the main street, minifigures from far and wide converge on Studs to catch the happening vibe. Grab a delicious plastic burger at the town diner, watch the marching band and admire the hot rods rolling down the main street. Nothing sells quite like nostalgia, and this jukebox has it in spades. Terabbiabia, because we are living in an immaterial world. In a dark office basement, this server tower once provided central file storage and internet connectivity to a suburban mid-tier tax accounting business. In the post-human world, a colony of minifigures has salvaged the components of this once superior processing machine to build the core of their beige cyber haven, Terabbiabia. Here, the minifigures have chosen to upload their consciousness to a virtual dimension in which every user can live an equally average existence in a perfectly bland world. Bleach Beach. Eat, sleep, beach, repeat. Welcome to the sun-seared shores of Bleach Beach. On a desolate stretch of dried-up coastline lies a long-abandoned jet ski. Once a disposable novelty for human tourists, this decaying fiberglass vessel presented the perfect shell for the community of Bleach Beach to create their own tropical oasis of fun. Despite the harsh landscape, these paradise seekers have found a way to build their beach fantasy. Take a stroll down the bustling pastel-soaked promenade where colourful characters pound the pavement and local street vendors peddle their wares. If you're the competitive type, play around at the fabulous Flamingo Links golf course or drop in to surf the concrete with the local skaters. When you're ready to put your feet up, escape the heat of the midday sun beneath the shady palm trees, surrounded by lush tropical gardens, and take in the breathtaking views across the desert floor. Although the surrounding ocean has long since evaporated, the Liquid Triple Motel offers a family-friendly water park complete with an exhilarating water slide and poolside cocktail bar. It's simply perfect for cooling off after a long day beneath the blazing desert sun. Whatever inspires you, wherever you roam, true luxury awaits on the shores of Bleach Beach. Cosmic Arcade. Intergalactic Planetary. Once a playground for young and old alike, the Cosmic Arcade is now home to a teeming colony of minifigures destined to explore the stars. The towering arcade machines have been transformed into a network of space stations. Inspired by the stories of space told within the arcade, these minifigures have engineered their perfect world and built a completely self-sufficient home using fusion power and advanced hydroponic farming techniques. Space Invader Base holds the pulsing fusion reactor that powers all three stations. It also serves as the commercial hub with space credits for a bite to eat, new fancy electronics, or even a turn on the meta miniature arcade games. Across the connecting bridge is Gallagher Station, which hosts the station's residential sector. Here, Citizens who like to stretch their legs can venture through the airlock and go for a spacewalk around the station. Inside the claw machine, the launchpad terminal hosts a fleet of starships ready to explore the final frontier. The heaviest cargo is handled by a mechanically upgraded teddy bear. Beneath the hangar bay, the hyperspace tunnel launches the starships on their deep space adventures, sending them on a daring mission to make contact with other life forms. New World Credit Union. Mo money, mo problems. This ATM was torn apart in the chaos of humanity's final days on Earth. Stripped of its reinforced door and emptied of all its cash, it lay dormant until the money-grubbing minifigures of New World Credit Union, the NWCU, saw fit to establish their headquarters in its robust carcass. This automated teller machine was once widely used, replacing human bankers with machines in a time when people still used physical representations of money, otherwise known as cash. Today, the grand entrance hall of the New World Credit Union welcomes minifigures from far and wide. Upon entering the marble foyer, they are greeted by an imposing statue of a skeletal figure looming above a tower of gold and coins. The entrance hall is lined with rows of NWCU's most competent bank tellers. These cunning financiers are always willing to accept deposits from any client seeking a safe place to store their pennies. In addition to their standard banking services, they'll cheerfully facilitate any loan at NWCU's extortionate interest rates. Beneath the foyer is a statue of the art-impenetrable vault that holds the entirety of the New World Credit Union's cash assets and the wealth of its clientele. Security is tight at the bank, but a sophisticated and well-organised band of thieves have their sights set on this well-guarded treasure. Beatlesville. You say you want a revolution? Once a symbol of 1960s counterculture, this Volkswagen Beetle is now a rusted monument of humanity's crude oil collapse. Led by an oil-obsessed dictator, this band of motor-headed hooligans have clumsily modified the remnants of the Beetle's engine to generate power for their ramshackle town. For years they have relied on the trickle of fuel pumped from a nearby oil drum to turn the ancient motor, generating just enough power to keep their society alive. But the fuel in the drum is down to the dregs, and the exhausted engine begins to gasp for the final fumes. Unrest is swelling in Beatlesville. Protesters have gathered in the town square and are making their way towards the gates beneath the Grand Bone Palace. While they've long known that the fuel in the drum would eventually run out, the aristocrats of Beatlesville have done nothing to prepare, choosing instead to line their own pockets and watch from the safe distance of their fortified balcony. Meanwhile, beside a wheel of the Beetle, a lone hermit sips tea on the porch of his simple abode. The corners of his printed lips turn upwards and form a smile on his plastic face as he embraces the peacefulness of the sustainable life he has built for himself. Posthuman Times. The times they are a-changin'. Inspired by the mechanical intricacies of a rusty typewriter, the ingenious minifigures of the Posthuman Times have engineered a printing press to distribute the news of tomorrow. The determined, truth-seeking reporters toil diligently, sifting through a world of uncertainty on a noble mission to unearth the credible. From in-depth coverage of the protests at Beatlesville to scandalous gossip columns spotlighting the stars of Cathode Studios, the Posthuman Times has something for everyone in 2530. The Posthuman Times, keeping you informed of the truths that matter most to you. Cryolife Resort and Wellness Centre. What's cooler than being cool? Feeling the heat of the post-human Earth climate? Experts at Cryolife Resort and Wellness Centre provide cryonic freezing services to any minifigure looking to bunker down. Here, they can wait out the extreme weather conditions resulting from centuries of unchecked human industry. Nestled amongst the remnants of an abandoned, mould-infested kitchen, this heavily insulated shell of an old refrigerator offers the perfect conditions for a comfortable cryostasis. Following the first successful plastic preservation of a minifigure in 25-27, Cryolife Resort and Wellness Centre was established to pioneer this breakthrough technology. As the years go by, more and more minifigures are making the decision to freeze themselves, extending their plastic lifespan by millennia. Cathode Studios. Television rules the nation. Hollywood lies in ruins, but the glitz and glamour lives on amongst the circuits of these televisions on display in a forgotten electronics store. Cathode Studios is the premier film and television production house in the post-human world, producing everything from big-budget blockbusters to local news programs. When Cathode Studios was first established, the directors were limited by the archaic technology left behind in this crumbling electronics store. Over the years, they refined their craft and built a new antenna capable of broadcasting across the world. In case you missed it, here's tonight's programming. At 5 o'clock, Dr. Russell's monstrous imagination. Dr. Russell stumbles upon a new creation which turns out to be more trouble than he expected. At 6 o'clock, a movie, Mummy Queen 4, The Matriarch's Revenge. An intrepid adventurer accidentally awakens an ancient power. Stars Indiana Bones, Mummy Queen. At 8 o'clock, we've got the news. And at 9 o'clock, we've got another movie. This town is too small for the both of us. An upstart cowboy makes waves in a new town. Stars Clint Eastwood and Queen McSteve. And finally, at 11:30, the Extra Late Show with Charlie Cheddar. We're doing an interview with special guest, Pizza Guy. 88th Street. There's no business like show business. For centuries, the hammers and strings of this piano lay silent, but now its weathered frame is home to the vibrant song of the 88th Street precinct. Attracting minifigures from across the lands, there's something on offer for everyone in this performer's haven. The grand theatres of 88th Street house the brightest stars of the 2030s. Down at the base end of town, the Adagio Theatre hosts the magical antics of the great Ling genius, who dazzle and confound with their mind-bending illusions. Uptown in the high notes, the Etude Theatre resonates with the melodic tones of Rita Ravioli. Can't score a ticket to the big acts? The street below bustles with vaudevillian performers of all sorts. Strongmen, card hustlers, barbershop quartets and buskers. And if the sensory overload of the streetscape gets all too much, head upstairs to Keys Lounge and sink into some smooth jazz. Come one, come all, the dazzling lights of 88th Street are calling. This is a replica of the workspace used to construct the Relics Exhibition. The exhibition took a year to plan and design, and another half a year to construct. All the Lego used is second-hand, including approximately 2,000 minifigures. So hey look, we hope you've enjoyed this insight into the Relics Exhibition here at Auckland Museum, and thanks for taking the time to watch. Have an awesome one.